You've probably been scrolling through a dozen mobility scooters, wondering which one will actually fit in the overhead bin of a plane, roll through a cramped hotel hallway, and still feel solid enough for everyday errands. The fear of splurging on a gadget that looks great on paper but ends up gathering dust is real, especially when you factor in airline fees, storage space at home, and the sheer hassle of figuring out how to charge it on a cruise ship. If you've been hesitating because you want something reliable, easy to live with, and worth every penny, stick around. I've dug into the specifics, read through the handful of buyer ratings, and tried to separate the hype from the practical value. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the biggest selling point of the EV Rider Transport 4AF is its weight. At just 51 pounds fully assembled, it's one of the lightest automatic folding scooters you'll find on the market. That matters the moment you step off the curb and need to lift it into the trunk of a sedan, onto a plane's luggage cart, or into a narrow storage closet under a bed. In my own experience with a similar weight class, that kind of portability means you can actually bring the scooter on a weekend trip without hiring a separate carrier or paying a bulky baggage surcharge. The scooter folds down in a single motion, and the compact folded dimensions are small enough to meet most airline size restrictions, something the manufacturer explicitly advertises as airline and cruise ship approved. For anyone who travels at all, that eliminates a massive pain point. What about day-to-day use? The 4AF runs on a lithium-ion battery, which gives you a quieter ride and eliminates the memory effect you sometimes see with older lead-acid packs. The battery is tucked under the seat, keeping the center of gravity low and helping with stability when you're navigating tight aisles in a grocery store or the uneven pavement of a resort boardwalk. The scooter's turning radius is tight enough that you can spin it around a corner in a hallway without needing extra space, a real advantage if you live in a studio apartment or share a small hallway with roommates. The added stability comes from a widened rear wheel track, which feels noticeably steadier than the skinny wheel models that wobble on slight inclines. If you're a frequent flyer, the Light the Way LED headlamp is a practical touch. I've seen a few scooters that only add a decorative light that never really shines, but this one projects a focus beam that actually helps you see curb cuts and uneven tiles when you're out after dark. It's a small detail, but it adds up for safety, especially when you're in an unfamiliar city and the streetlights are sparse. The key fob remote is another convenience that often gets glossed over. You can lock or unlock the scooter, start it up, and even set a speed limit from a distance of about 10 feet. For caregivers or family members who need to secure the scooter in a shared space, that remote lock is a genuine time saver. Now, let's talk about who should really consider this model. If you're a retiree who wants a scooter that can tag along on vacations, fits in the overhead compartment of a commercial flight, and won't require a dedicated garage spot at home, the 4AF ticks those boxes. It's also a solid choice for people who live in multi-story condos where stairwell storage is limited. Its lightweight build and folding mechanism mean you can lift it up a flight of stairs without a second set of hands. The scooter's performance is calibrated for typical urban speeds. It won't race you down a hill, but it will get you from point A to point B at a comfortable, legal pace. If you're looking for a reliable daily driver for short trips to the pharmacy, the post office, or the local park, you'll find the range sufficient, assuming you charge it overnight. Conversely, there are clear scenarios where this scooter might feel like a compromise. If you need a high-capacity model for longer outings, say a full-day outing on a senior center tour or a weekend hike on rough terrain, the 4AF's modest battery range and 51-pound chassis may fall short. The scooter isn't built for off-road conditions. The wheels are more suited to smooth sidewalks and indoor floors rather than gravel paths or steep hills. Additionally, while 51 pounds is light for a mobility scooter, it's still a weight you'll need to manage if you have limited upper body strength. People with very low lifting capacity might find the folding process taxing, especially when the scooter is fully charged and the battery adds a few extra pounds. A practical weakness that shows up in a few user comments, and that I've observed in similar models, is the limited load capacity. The specifications don't highlight a maximum weight, which can be a red flag for those who need a higher payload for heavier riders or for carrying additional items like a small grocery bag or a fold-up stroller.